ਮੀਡੀਆ ਵੇਸ ਦੇ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਤੋਂ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਸਰੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਸੂਬਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਅੱਜ ਐਲਾਨੇਗੀ, ਔਰ ਜਿਸ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਵ ਕਵਰੇਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਪਰਾਲਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਵੇਵ ਦੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਤੋਂ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਯਕਦਮ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਮਾਈਕ ਫਾਰਨਵਰਥ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਔਰ ਇਸ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਦੀ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਰ ਬੜੇ ਲੰਮੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਰੀ ਨਿਵਾਸੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਯਾਦ ਰਹੇ ਕਿ ਸਰੀ ਨਿਵਾਸੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ 'ਤੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੀ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਪਿਛਲੇ 4 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੈਂਸਿਟਿਵ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ। ਔਰ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੂਬਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰਣ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਵੇਵਸ ਲਾਈਵ ਦੇ ਜ਼ਰੀਏ। ਔਰ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਤੱਕ ਇਹ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਯਕਦਮ ਪਹੁੰਚੇਗੀ। ਔਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਰੀ ਨਿਵਾਸੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਮਨਸ਼ਾਹਿਤ ਮੌਜੂਦਾ ਸੂਬਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ NDP ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਲਿਆ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੜੀ ਜਲਦੀ, ਬੜੇ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਮਿੰਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਕਰਨ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਮਾਈਕ ਫਾਰਨਵਰਥ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਐਲਾਨਿਆ, ਉਹ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰਣ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਦਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਰ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਲਾਈਵ।
Everyone needs to be safe in their community, regardless of where they live in BC. As Solicitor General, it's my duty to make sure that the decision on the transition ensures public safety, not just for the people of Surrey, but for everyone in British Columbia. The path forward provides secure policing that people can count on now and for the long term. The best way to ensure public safety and to put this difficult time behind us is with a municipal police force in Surrey. I am recommending that the City of Surrey continue with the transition to the Surrey Police Service. The province is ready to sit down with the City of Surrey to provide financial support so we can finally close this chapter of confusion and uncertainty. The RCMP have significant recruiting challenges right now, and with 1,500 vacancies across British Columbia, we cannot afford to make it worse. The Director of Police Services report makes it clear that backtracking to the RCMP risks reducing police presence in other regions. Moving backwards to the RCMP in Surrey could come at the cost of staffing positions elsewhere in the province. Mayors and Indigenous leaders of RCMP police communities have expressed concerns about RCMP resourcing, and they have said they cannot afford to lose any of their officers to Surrey. If communities such as Richmond, North Vancouver and Chilliwack have reduced police presence, that risks impacting public safety in the entire region, including in Surrey. But also let me be clear, my support for the RCMP in this province is unwavering. RCMP officers on the ground across British Columbia protect our communities each and every day. The sentiment I know I share with Mayor Locke. It was my privilege to attend the police honours last week, where the province celebrated the dedication and bravery of RCMP officers. Every day we witness their commitments and professionalism. And last November we made an historic $230 million in investment in base RCMP funding that will help hire 277 additional officers for specialised units and rural police forces. This investment will help our dedicated RCMP officers keep our communities safe across our province. We commissioned an independent analysis by Deloitte to verify the concerns from the City of Surrey that the plan to staff 734 Surrey Police Service officers will cost approximately $30 million more per year than the RCMP's plan. This confirms the cost differential that the Mayor of Surrey has repeatedly expressed concerns about. That is why we are committed to working with the City of Surrey on financial support from the province to ensure that there are not additional costs to Surrey residents and businesses. Additionally, the independent financial analysis also verified that moving towards the municipal police force will save the City of Surrey over $72 million in severance costs. People of Surrey are frustrated by years of back and forth, and they should not have to pay the price for this confusion. Every day I hear from people about public safety in their communities. And since the peak of the pandemic, we have seen communities across the country express concerns about safety and crime. When someone calls 911, they need to know that a police officer will be there to help. Now is not the time to put policing levels at risk in any community, in Surrey or anywhere else in BC. The people of Surrey have been through enough. Path we are recommending is safer for all regions of the province, safer for the people of Surrey, and with provincial financial support, will help prevent them from paying more. Together, we will ensure public safety for the people across the province and for the people of Surrey. Thank you. I'm now happy to take questions.
Thank you. A reminder to media on the line, please press *1 to enter the queue if you'd like to ask a question. Our first question is going to come from Bender Sutton, CTV.
Hi, Minister. Just wondering, this is a recommendation from the province. You talk about that confusion facing Surrey residents. Why not make this decision binding? And when does the City of Surrey need to let you know what route they will be taking?
This is a strong recommendation that is made under the powers that I have under the Police Act of the Province of British Columbia, under the authority that I have. In terms of the recommendations and the City of Surrey, I think what's critically important is that the City of Surrey takes the time to thoroughly go through the report. It's 500 pages. It details the path forward, why we believe that the transition to the Surrey Police Service is the right approach, and that we are prepared to sit down with them in terms of the financial issues that have been raised in the past.
Up in there?
Sure. I'm just wondering, as Surrey residents, I know someone who's very worried about his property taxes this year and what that's going to be. But as they're looking at, this recommendation, which is not a decision, they still don't have certainty, and they're worried about the ongoing costs of this uncertainty. Does the province have an estimate of how much it is costing Surrey residents each month to have both police forces in place?
One of the things that we did in the analysis of the done by my staff within the ministry in terms of the plan that's required to go forward and why we've gone with the Surrey Police Service as our strong recommendation to ensure public safety in Surrey is the fact that we are willing to sit down with the City of Surrey in terms of those costs. We verified through Deloitte that the costs are about $30 million a year difference between the Surrey RCMP and the Surrey Police Service, and we are prepared to ensure that the residents of Surrey do not bear the burden of those costs. And so you could look at it that if a transition were to take, let's say up to 5 years at $30 million, that's about $150 million. And on top of that, they would also not have to be dealing with the $72 million in severance costs that they're already facing. So that's a significant recognition by the province, I believe, that we're prepared to sit down with the City of Surrey.
Question, Richard Sussman, Global News.
Are you preparing for a fight here with Surrey Mayor Brenda Locke? Have conditions been put in place here that in essence make it impossible for her to continue with the RCMP? And after time and time again, you telling us there would be no financial support for Surrey, all of a sudden now you've come to the table with money for the community, in essence saying, if you don't go with Surrey Police, this money is going to disappear.
No, Surrey made a request to go back to the RCMP. My responsibility as Solicitor General in the province is to ensure that there is a safe and effective policing plan for the City of Surrey. That meant receiving submissions from them in terms of how they want to go back to the RCMP. We received the submissions from the RCMP, from the City of Surrey, the Surrey Police Service, on how they propose to do that. It was determined by my ministry that the plans put forward did not and would not result in a safe transition. That the best way forward to ensure policing stability and safety in the City of Surrey was to continue with the transition. I think it's a recognition that the province is putting forward a strong recommendation to the City of Surrey to proceed with that Surrey police transition. We understand that it is a unique situation, and that one of the best ways to ensure that that transition takes place smoothly is to recognize Surrey's concerns that if you continue with the transition, there would be costs associated to that. And so the province has indicated we are willing to work with Surrey on those costs to ensure that they're not borne by Surrey residents or by Surrey businesses. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is about ensuring safe and effective policing for the City of Surrey.
Richard?
Could this open up the floodgates, in essence, for other municipalities to move away from the RCMP in Metro Vancouver, knowing that there will be provincial money on the table to assist with those future transitions?
No. I think everyone recognizes the situation when it comes to Surrey is unique. It is the largest detachment, RCMP detachment in the country. It is one of the largest, I think, after the City of Vancouver in the province of British Columbia. This is a very unique situation, and that we need to ensure that we have a plan in place that ensures safe and effective policing in the City of Surrey, and recognizing that the potential impacts in terms of the other provinces or the rest of the province, that the safety in other communities is not impacted.
Question comes from Von Palmer, Vancouver Sun.
Thanks for doing this, Minister. I want to be sure I understand the situation. If Surrey continues to move to municipal force, the province is offering to help with the estimated $30 million extra annual cost of that option. If Surrey continues to reverse direction and goes back to the RCMP, the province is not offering to help with the $72 million in severance costs.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, we're actually going to go to a last question in the room. We're going to go to Keith Baldry from Global News. Then we're going to head to the phones. Please bear with us. All right, Keith Baldry, Global, please go ahead.
The microphone finally arrived. So what do you say to what will inevitably be a criticism that you just kicked the can down the road here by not really making a binding decision?
I've made a decision on the powers that I have under the Police Act, and the decision is that it is our strong recommendation that the City of Surrey continues with the Surrey Police Service. I'm making it under the powers that I have under the existing legislation. My responsibility as Solicitor General is to ensure that there is a plan in place for safe and effective policing in Surrey, given the fact that they want to go back to the RCMP. The plans that we received in terms of the RCMP, the City of Surrey, and the Surrey Police Service, after thorough analysis by the Deputy Director of Police Services within my ministry and my ministry staff, have determined that those plans would not lead to safe and effective policing in Surrey. The risk of the transition is too great. And therefore, the best way to ensure safe and effective policing in the City of Surrey is by continuing with the transition. That's why we're prepared to put work with them on those additional policing costs.
Keith?
Yeah, so you've placed some conditions on, going back to the RCMP is a possibility, but you put some conditions on this. And one of the metaphors we were told was like one path is relatively few obstacles. The other path, which is the RCMP path, has all sorts of cliffs and lakes and rivers to cross. It makes it very hard to go back to that. So what are some of the conditions that have been placed on a path back to the RCMP?
First off, there are 7 conditions. Those conditions are binding conditions. They are not something that would be up for negotiation. So, for example, they would include that you would not prioritize taking Surrey or taking RCMP offices from other communities to put them into Surrey. You would not prioritize restaffing Surrey over the province's 277 positions that we want filled in rural British Columbia, and the integrated teams and specialty teams that we announced back in November. It would also require the city to do a thorough, full analysis based now on the new information and in dealing with those conditions that have been put in place.
Now we go to the phones. We'll hear first from Gordon Hoekstra, Vancouver Sun. Gord, please go ahead.
Thank you for this. Minister, I'm just wondering, given the considerable challenges with staffing of the RCMP throughout the province and the binding condition that restaffing if the city was to continue with the RCMP doesn't prioritize Surrey RCMP, how is that even possible?
That's why the City of Surrey needs to sit down and take the time to go through the report, all the information that's in it, to recognize that the best path forward is the recommendation that we have made. And we have made it on the basis of safe and effective policing in the City of Surrey. And that's why we've also come forward and saying, look, we recognize there are additional costs with that, and those costs should not be borne by the residents or the businesses of Surrey, and we're willing to sit down to deal with those issues of costs. The issue of vacancies is of critical importance, not just in Surrey, but in communities right across the province. And that's why we believe that this plan is the right plan, and that's why we've made it the strong recommendation that we have.
Follow-up, Gordon.
Yes, I do. So if Surrey was to go down the path of continuing with the RCMP, and then it turns out that they can't, restaff without prioritizing Surrey, what happens then? Does this province step in and say this is creating too much issues for the rest of the province? You have to go back to the other way. Like, how does that look like?
That's why I said that the conditions are binding conditions, and that's why it's critically important that Surrey takes the time to look at the report, to analyze the report, and to recognize that what the province is putting forward as the path forward is in fact the right approach in terms of the public safety interests of the residents of Surrey, as well as the taxpayers, the financial interests of taxpayers and businesses in the City of Surrey.
This question comes from Graham Wood, Glacier Media. Graham, please go ahead.
Hi there, Minister. Can you clarify the cost again? So the $30 million is after everything's established. It will cost the SPS $30 million more to operate on an annual basis. But the transition cost to get there within the next 5 years is $235 million. So of that $235 million, how much is the province going to subsidize?
That's why we said we want to sit down with the City of Surrey. We worked with Deloitte. Deloitte has confirmed that the difference between the costs between the Surrey Police Service and the RCMP is that it is $30 million a year more to go with the Surrey Police Service. That's why we have said we will sit down with the City of Surrey on those costs. As I said a moment ago, if you're looking at a transition that took 5 years, for example, that would be about $150 million. And at the same time, the city would be saving on that $72 million of severance that they would have had to pay out.
Follow-up, Graham?
Okay, so what I'm gathering is you don't have a number in mind. But again, is the $30 million is that operational costs after everything's done, or are you talking about transition costs, the cost of IT, the cost of officers not being on duty but still being paid at the SPS? There's the. Can you if you understand what I'm trying to say? Sorry, the.
I fully understand what you're saying, and that's why I'm saying that the financial analysis has shown the difference between the two forces is $30 million on an annual basis. There have been a lot of sunk costs that already have been done by the City of Surrey that have already been put in place. What we're looking at is going forward, and we've made it clear that in going on the path that ensures public safety in the City of Surrey by going with the Surrey Police Service, that we do not want to see the citizens of Surrey and their businesses burdened with those costs, and we're prepared to sit down with the City of Surrey and to deal with them.
Do you have
our last question today, we hear from Lauren Collins, Black Press. Lauren, please go ahead. Hi, is the province hoping that with continuing with the Surrey Police Service that it will help to fill some of those 1,500 vacancies throughout the province?
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
Sorry, is the province hoping that with continuing with the Surrey Police Service that it will help to fill some of the 1,500 vacancies?
What we want to ensure by continuing the Surrey Police Service is that we have safe and effective policing in the city of Surrey. The city of Surrey indicated that they wanted to go back to the RCMP. We requested plans from the city, the RCMP, and the Surrey Police Service. There's been a thorough analysis of that done by the Director of Police Services and the staff of my ministry, and they have determined that those plans have too much risk, that they would not put in place a safe and effective policing service. And that's why we've got the strong recommendation to the city of Surrey that they continue with the Surrey Police Service, and that we're prepared to assist them with those costs. The vacancy issue is also very much part and parcel in terms of that analysis, but that's also a bigger issue in terms of the rest of the province and other police detachments as well. Indeed, in fact, it's an issue right across the country.
Philip Lauren. Could this decision or today's recommendation pave the way for a provincial force?
Today's recommendation is all about the city of Surrey and safety in the city of Surrey. There is the all-party committee report on the future of policing in the province. We are working on changes to the Police Act, which I have announced. The first phase of those will be in place this fall. But I also want to take this opportunity. I fully expect that the RCMP are going to be policing large areas of this province for a considerable amount of time to come.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes today's event.
ਮੀਡੀਆ ਵੇਜ਼ ਦੇ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਤੋਂ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰਣ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਂ। ਪਬਲਿਕ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਮਾਈਕ ਫਰਨਵਰਥ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ, ਦੱਸਿਆ ਰਿਕਮੈਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਸਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਦਿਵਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜਾਰੀ ਰਹੇ ਔਰ ਵਾਧੂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਰਚਾ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਭਾਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਰੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਗਰਿਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਏਗਾ, ਬਲਕਿ ਅਗਾਊਂ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ $30 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਲਾਨਾ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਫਰਕ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ RCMP ਤੇ ਸਰੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਣ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੂਬਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਖੁਦ ਕਵਰ ਕਰੇਗੀ। ਔਰ ਯਾਦ ਰਹੇ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਬੜੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੋਕ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸਨ। ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਐਲਾਨ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਅਧਿਕਾਰਤ ਖੇਤਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਪੂਰੀ ਦੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਬਹੁ ਪੱਖੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਧਾਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਲਾਹ ਮਸ਼ਵਰਾ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸੂਬਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਅਧਿਕਾਰਤ ਖੇਤਰ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਰਿਕਮੈਂਡੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਸਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਰੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਰੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਔਰ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਸਰੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ 'ਤੇ ਵਾਧੂ ਖਰਚਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਪਲੱਸ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਸਰੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ $72 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਧ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟ ਕੱਟਣ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਰਜਾਨਾ ਤੇ ਜੁਰਮਾਨੇ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ है वो अपनी जिम्मेवारी लेती है।
जी हाँ दोस्तों, आज सुबह विक्टोरिया से ये खबर आई है और हमारे पब्लिक सेफ्टी सॉलिसिटर जनरल मिनिस्टर ऑफ पब्लिक सेफ्टी माइक फार्नवर्थ ने ये बात कही है कि द प्रोविंस इज रेकमेंडिंग द सिटी ऑफ सरी कंटिन्यू इट्स ट्रांजिशन टू द सरी पुलिस सर्विस बिकॉज इट इंश्योर्स पब्लिक सेफ्टी फॉर पीपल इन सरी एंड थ्रू आउट ब्रिटिश कोलंबिया while offering financial assistance to protect Surrey taxpayers। और ये recommendation बड़े ही strong recommendation माइक फार्नवर्थ ने कहा है वो सिटी ऑफ सरी को दिया है कि जो पुलिस ट्रांजिशन है सरी पुलिस ट्रांजिशन है उसे कंटिन्यू करना चाहिए। We'll be back after a quick commercial break।